Hey guys, Ms. Simpson here. I just wanted to create a quick video on long division and how to complete the long division process. This week we are starting chapter 2, which is all long division, the whole entire chapter. And then later in 5th grade, when we get to chapter 5, we do long division with decimals. So this is a 4th grade skill that carries over into 5th grade that we later use. The newer standard is dividing decimals for us. However, chapter 2, we just hit long division again to review it from last year and to go over those skills so you have them for this year. Okay, so I just wanted to review this anchor chart with you guys really quick, and then we will do a couple of examples. Okay, so you're probably wondering why I have this big cheeseburger on my board. There is a method to the madness. So, the process of long division is long. Okay, it's a longer process, and it's multi-step, and it does take a lot of time. Long division takes a long time. So, I just wanted to give you guys kind of a step-by-step on how to work your way through a problem. So, first thing you're going to do is divide. Okay, then you're going to multiply, subtract, check, and then bring down. So a little saying that might help you remember this process is, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? Okay, and I don't know if you guys can see this as well, but the D in does stands for divide. Okay, the first thing we do is divide. The second thing is multiply. The M in McDonald's stands for the multiply. The S in serve stands for subtract. The C in cheese stands for check. And the B in burgers stands for bring down. So does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. Okay, so this saying, this goofy saying, might help us get the order of solving a long division problem right. Okay, so divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. That is really important for us to remember for the process of completing our long division problem. So I'm going to set this to the side for right now. And I'm just going to look at a couple problems that are in your book as examples. Okay, so I'm looking at number 1 on page 89. Okay, I'm going to do, let's see, it's 4. I'll write this really big so you guys can see this. Okay, so this is going to be the first problem that we are going to look at. So, first thing that we need to do is realize that, which numbers are in what place. Okay, so if we look at the 4, this is called the divisor. This is the number that we're seeing how many times it goes into this bigger number. Okay, the bigger number is called the dividend. This is the number that is being divided, the thing that is being split up. Okay, when we put our answer up top, the answer is called the quotient. That is how many times the divisor goes into the dividend is the quotient. Okay, so we're just going to take this, we're going to section it off a little bit and do this just like small steps to later solve this bigger problem. So we're just going to look at the 4 first. We're not going to worry about all the other numbers. We're going to ask ourselves the question of how many times does 4 go into 4? Or think of it in the terms of what times 4 gives you 4. Try to think of that number in your head. What times 4 gives you 4? 1 times 4 gives you 4. So, while ignoring these other 2 numbers, because I'm not ready to talk about those other 2 numbers, I'm only focusing 1 number at a time, and I only move down if I need to. Okay? So 4 goes into 4 1 time. Since I'm talking about this 4, I'm going to put the 1 right above this 4. That is hard for y'all to see. Let me change my color. I'll just have to match. Now, the placing of the number is important for chapter 5, where you put the number, like which number you put this above, putting the 1 above the 4. That's actually important, really important for chapter 5. It is not a huge thing for chapter 2, but we're going to go ahead and start practicing what we need to know for later. That way our lives are easier later in chapter 5. So put your 1 right above the number that you were talking about. Then we're going to draw a little time sign right here, because now we're going to say 1 times 4 is 4. So I'm going to write this right here. Okay. We have already completed the divide part. We just completed the multiply part. Now we're completing the subtraction part. So 4 minus 4 is 0. We're going to check. The reason why there's a check here is just to make sure that when we subtract, that this number is not bigger than your divisor. Because if the number is bigger than your divisor, then that means that this number was not big enough. We didn't choose a number that's big enough. And we might run into this situation a little bit later in a problem. Okay? So we checked. Now we're going to bring down. The only thing you're bringing down is the number that's next in that equation. And then that process starts over again. Okay? So we're asking ourselves again, how many times does 4 go into 5? 4 goes into 5 1 time. Once that first number is placed, then the rest just fall right above the next number. It's just placing the first number that can mess up long division problems with decimals later. Okay? So it goes 1 time. Now I'm back to multiplying. 1 times 4 is 4. I'm back to subtracting. 5 minus 4 is 1. Next, I need to check. Double check that this number is not bigger than this one. It is not. Go ahead and bring down. 4 goes into 17 how many times? 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to subtract. I get 1. Can 4 go into 1? No. So that is my remainder. So I'm going to write remainder 1. Okay? Now, one thing that I do want to go ahead and just touch on a little bit is if the multiplication facts, how many times 4 go into 17? Let's say that wasn't coming quick enough. Let's say I'm not sure. Then one trick that you can do out on the side is write your 4s. Okay? Write your 4s and add them up. And see. Try 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. See if that works. Okay? If that doesn't work, then you would go up, add another 4 each time. Right? Or another way is if I wrote my 4s like 4, then 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. I don't think I can go over 16 without, going too far, so I'm going to choose 16. That is another way. If you write these out on the side like this when you're not sure, you will notice that later that's going to become more natural and you're going to be able to remember those facts a little bit quicker and a little bit better. You can also think of it as once you start writing these out on the side when you're not sure, you're probably going to run into another problem later on your worksheet where this skip counting can help you. Okay, so it's not necessarily work wasted. Okay, it will help you get better at your problem. Okay, good problems. So we're going to erase this and give myself a little bit more room right here. And I want to show you how to check your answers because when we're thinking in terms of your Chapter 2 test later, if we're just thinking a little bit ahead, you have the possibility to check all of your answers before you even turn in your problem, before you even turn in your test. Okay? And that is the beauty of multiplying. That is the beauty of being able to do an inverse operation to check your answers. So I want to show you how to do that. If I want to make 100 on my test, what I would do is I would take this number. That's the number I'm going to focus on. Okay? We're going to look at the 114 right now only. So if I take 114 and I multiply it times 4. Okay? 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4. plus 1 is 5. 4 times 4, or 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, I get 456. We were only thinking about the 114. Now I need to interpret the remainder. The remainder, you're going to add on. We had a remainder 1. We're going to add 1. We got our dividend. Okay, so you can check your work by multiplying your divisor times the quotient, and you should get the dividend. You'll multiply the whole number, and then you will add the remainder. And that should give you, if you do your multiplication correctly, that will give you your dividend. And that is just a quick way to check to see if your answer is correct, to know if you're on the right track. If you're not sure about a problem, this is a good way just to double check that and make sure that you have that problem right. Me and Miss Savannah know this is a lot of work, and I know that this takes a long time. We 110% get that, and it is a longer process, but if you do this extra step, I mean, this might have took me, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. That's a guaranteed correct answer. Or that's that's a heads up if I need to look at that problem again in order to get it correct. Because that is our ultimate goal, is just to get as many problems as we can correct. Okay, so let's look at number 13 on page 89. This one's a big one. So we're going to look at that together. Okay. Woohoo! Big problem. All right. Okay, so first thing you're going to look at, once again, is we're just going to take it one little step at a time. I was going to look for a piece of paper. Here. Let's use this. I'm only going to focus on the 3 at first. Okay, can 5 go into 3? No, 5 is bigger than 3, so 5 cannot go into 3 evenly. Okay, we're going to go over 1. I'll drop my marker. We're going to go over 1, and 5 goes into 32. How many times? 5 times what gets me close to 32, but does not go over? 5 times 6. Okay, 5 times 6. So I'm going to draw my little times sign. Now, where I place the 6, we're going to start practicing this from right off the bat. Should I place the 6 over the 3 or over the 2? I want you to think about that in your head for just a second. So if you chose over the 2, you are correct. The reason being is because if I put the 6 over the 3, then I'm saying that 5 goes into 3 6 times. And that is not true, right? 5 times 6 is not 3. If I put the 5 over the 2, then you're talking about the number 32. And that is what we were asking ourselves, is how many times does 5 go into 32? Goes into 32 6 times, okay? Without going over. The goal is do not go over that number. So I'm going to write this 6 above the 2. And then I'm going to say 6 times 5. I'm in this multiplying step. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay? 32 minus, I'm in the subtraction. 32 minus 30 is 2. Double check. Is this number bigger than the 5? No, it is not. Let's bring this down. Now we're talking about the number 21. 5 goes into 21 how many times? Or think of it as what times 5 gets me close to 21, but does not make me go over 21, because I cannot go over. 5 times 4 gives me 20. Okay? If I wasn't sure about that, write that out on the side. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, 21 is falling in here. And I can't go over, so I have to choose 20. How many times did I have to count? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Okay? If you know your multiplication facts, this is not a skill that you need to know. If you're unsure about your multiplication facts, this is just a skill that you can use to help you with that. Okay? So 5 times 4 is 20. Again, to the subtraction part, 21 minus 20 is 1. I'm going to double check, is that 1 bigger than 5? It is not. Then I'm ready to bring down again. We continue this process until we run out of numbers to bring down. Okay? So now 5 goes into 14, 5, 10, 15's over. So 10 is how high I can go. And that's 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to subtract, and I get 4. Do I have any other numbers to bring down? No. I do not have any more numbers to bring down. So this now is going to become my remainder. I want to make 100 on my test. I'm trying to get all A's in 5th grade. That's my goal. So I'm going to double check my answer. And I'm going to write down 642, which is the quotient. I'm going to multiply that times 5. And then I'm going to add my remainder to see if I got the correct answer. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 2 is 32. Going to add the remainder, which was 4. Place my comma, 1, 2, 3. And I got the exact same thing. So I would bet $1 million on my answer because I know that I got it correct. I solved it forwards, and then I solved it backwards, and I got the same thing. So I know my answer is right. It's our goal for us to be confident in our answers, and it's our goal for us to get as many answers as we can correct. So, anyhow, back to what we first talked about a little bit. Just remember the process. So first you're going to divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. Once you do all that, you start over, do it again. Start over, do it again until you're at the end of that problem. Okay? So this video should help you with your next assignment and a couple of other assignments. This process does not change. This process is the same throughout this whole entire chapter. So let us know if you have any questions, okay? Thanks. Bye.